Hello, welcome to Pop-Up Yoga. We're here at Andrea's place in her sunny back garden. It's lovely, lovely, and we'll get going in about 4 minutes. Grab a water bottle, a yoga mat, whatever feels right and good for you. Sunscreen if you're practicing outside, and we'll see you shortly.
Yay! Okay, I'm here.
Yeah, so you got it.
Okay, be back 2 minutes.
All right. Welcome everyone to Movement Yoga, 2:30 Wednesday pop-up class. And we're waiting for Andrea. She'll join us real soon. There she is.
Hi.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, let me just turn off my phone.
We're in her lovely garden enjoying the sunshine. Beautiful afternoon here in San Francisco as we take movement yoga on the road. You'll be behind me. It's up to you. So we'll start in a seated position. And I'm going to suggest legs in a loose diamond shape, heels a little bit apart. As we sit, we can bring our hands onto our knees, pulling back with our hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. I'll invite you to tuck your chin ever so slightly as we start to take our attention inward. And we can start just by watching our breath as it flows in and as it flows out. Arriving here on our yoga mats, ready for an afternoon yoga practice. That was fun. From this place of just watching your breath, I invite you to start to shape your breath with a long, slow inhalation matched by a long, slow exhalation. As you breathe in, bringing the air to the base of your belly, the top of your chest. Breathing into each sideways, breathing into both front and back planes of your body. And as you breathe out, I'll encourage you to draw the low belly in and up towards the heart to squeeze a little more air out. And let's start to attach breath to movement. So working with this deeper, fuller breath, let's bring left hand outside left hip. And we'll bring right hand on top of the thigh. Let an inhale, grow your spine tall. And then on the exhale, finding a twist as you look over your back shoulder. With every inhalation, sitting up a little taller. With every exhalation, twisting a little bit further. Now letting your next inhalation bring you back through center. Right hand outside right hip, left hand catches the top of the thigh. Let your inhale grow your spine tall. And then finding your twist. Now letting your inhale bring you back center. Let's take a side bend each way. So left hand down, right hand high. We're going to lean onto that left sits bone, and then keeping the right hand right where it is as we slide that sits bone back down. And then holding for a couple of breaths as you breathe into those top ribs. You might imagine an accordion. With every breath in, the accordion ribs widen. With every breath out, those accordion ribs narrow. Letting an inhale bring you back through center. We'll ground down through the right hand, left hand high. We'll lean onto that right sits bone and then keep the hand where it is as we slide that left sits bone down. And then holding for 3 or so breaths, just breathing into those ribs, finding a little more space in your thoracic spine. Now letting your breath bring you back center. I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees again. And just working torso rotations here as we circle our torso for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's take those torso rotations the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And back to center. Let's go a little bit wider with our feet here. Find our spider tip fingers. And we're going to spider our fingers away as we start to find a forward fold, hinging at the hips. And either keeping neutral spine, back of the head in line with the sacrum, or if your back feels good this afternoon, taking it a little bit further as we round the back, softening the shoulders. For 2 or 3 long, slow breaths in. 2 or 3 long, slow breaths out. Just scanning your back, trying to find any areas of tension, and you can use that breath to release that tension. And from this forward fold, let's spider the fingers back in as we reclaim our long, tall spine. From here, let's go long through the left leg. Let's give our knees a little love and consideration, a hand on each side. Fingers find the back of it, just exploring that place. And then letting the kneecap be super, super loose as we give it a little wiggle. And then we can straighten our right leg. Same thing, a hand on each side, a little warmth, a little circulation from the connective tissue. Fingers find the back of the knee. And then giving that kneecap a little wiggle. From here, let's try an all fours position. We're working on brick here, so this might not last for long, but let's make sure that we find that all fours. Andrea's given us towels here for our knees. I don't want to block you. Let's see. Why don't you move over just a little bit? That way they can see you too. I'll invite you to ground down solidly through your hands, all 5 fingers, lots of space between the finger, and then grounding down a little more firmly between the thumb and the forefinger as you draw the energy up from the ground. From here, we can start the cat dog stretch. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail. Exhaling, tucking tail, tucking chin as we round it in. Let's do this a couple more times. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it in. Let's add a child's pose into the mix. Breathing in, lifting it up. And then big toes touch, we round the spine as we draw sits bones back to the heels. Inhaling, finding the arc, we come back up. Exhaling, drawing it back. One more time. Breathing in, lifting it up. Exhaling, rounding it back. Exploring the diagonals of the back, coming up center, and then drawing it back towards one heel. Inhaling, coming up center, and then finding that other heel. 2 more times each side, inhaling, and exhaling, drawing it back. Inhaling, lifting it up. Exhaling, drawing it back. One more time, breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, drawing it back. Now let's add a figure 8 into the mix. Breathing in, coming up center. Drawing it back to a heel. Keep the hips low as we find that other heel. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips. And back to first heel. 2 more times this direction. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Now switching the direction to the figure 8. Up on the other diagonal, shifting shoulders and hips. And back to second heel. 2 more times like this. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhaling, rounding it back. And then back to our all fours position. Let's do one more thing. In the all fours configuration, as we just circle our hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's take those hips the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now bringing hip center. One more thing here as we trace a figure 8 with our hips. One hip chases the other for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Taking those figure 8s the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. How your wrist feel this afternoon?
Yeah, it's all right.
A little bit. Can you do a down dog?
Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
So let's walk the hands just a little bit front. So elbows a little bit behind the wrists, shoulders a little bit behind the elbows. We'll get to a down dog with the cat dog stretch. Breathing in, lifting chin and tail, and then tucking the toes, rounding the spine as we lift the knees, tailbone high, high, high. And then as you push into the hands, stretching those heels down. As we hold this first down dog of the practice, I'm going to invite you to bend one leg deeply as you ground down to the opposite heel. And then finding that same stretch on the second side. And then freely moving back and forth between the sides, just seeing how your body feels this afternoon. What feels tight, what feels right, what feels somewhere in between. All right, welcome everybody. Yeah, it looks like we got good visual here on the guard. From this place of movement, I'll invite you to move back towards stillness. Long arms, long legs, long spine, deep full breath. And then on the tail end of a breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way towards the front of your mat. Take a breath to find length when you arrive. Exhaling, folding. So just like the cat dog stretch. Inhaling, neutral spine back of the head in line with the sacrum, arms out to the side and then overhead. And then on the exhale, hands by our side. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart, a light press of the thumb against the sternum, lining up each finger, relaxing our shoulders as we come back to our breath, watching as it flows in and out. And then hands by our side. Surya Namaskar A with or without vinyasa. Inhaling, arms up overhead. On the exhale, finding a forward fold. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out, either finding your down dog and holding, or cycling through yoga push-up, chaturanga. Inhaling into cobra or up dog. And then exhaling back to down dog and holding. Either holding down dog in stillness or adding that walking the dog side to side, bending one leg and then the other. Just seeing, again, just how your body feels. Where do you feel tight? Where do you feel less than tight? starting to find our feeling body. And again, if you added movement to your down dog, coming back to a place of stillness, you're breathing, your heart's beating, your mind's moving, and trying to find a little more space between each breath, each beat of the heart, each thought. From down dog, long, smooth breath out. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step, or maybe take a jump. Up to you. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Second one just like the first. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will, either stretching straight back or cycling through vinyasa, yogi's choice. Take your time, find your flow, follow your breath. As we hold down dog, I'll invite you to bring your attention to the base of your throat. From that place, listening and feeling as your breath flows in and as your breath flows out. One more long, slow breath here. And then on the tail end of your next exhalation, looking between the hands as you step, or take a jump run. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. Inhaling, riding the breath up. Exhaling, standing tall. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar. We'll add an option to the mix. Feel free to either choose the option or ignore it. Inhaling up. Exhaling over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. Wherever you choose to work, finding an even breath. Now feeling free to hold your down dog or generating more tapas or heat, not that we need it, in this nice sunny garden. But it feels good on our bodies. Let me go forward here so I don't shield Andrea. We can inhale forward to the top of a push-up. And then on the exhale, lifting hips high. A couple more times. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, drawing it back. This last one will invite you to hold. Inhaling forward. Exhaling and holding. Inhaling and holding. Exhaling and holding. One more half breath, breath in. And then on that next outhale, stretching it back to down dog and holding for another breath or so. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you mindfully make your way front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. Inhaling, hands over head pose. Exhaling, standing tall. I'll invite you to bring your hands to your heart as your weight collects in your feet. And then hands by our side. Surya Namaskar B starts with a chair pose, knees over toes, hands over head, inhaling. On the exhale, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up, I'll invite you to find a little back bend at the top, open heart, open throat, fourth and fifth chakra. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out back to down dog as you go. Take your time. And we face the camera here. Flow style, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Finding a three-legged dog, right leg high to the sky. High on the left toes for lots of clearance. And like a snake putting out its tongue, we can draw that foot through, landing it lightly as we spin the back heel down. Arms up and over the head for warrior one. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge as hands frame that front foot and we spin back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. Really work this hand, some of the wrist. You really work the hands hard, yeah. And that way your wrists have lots of support.
Okay.
Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the right toes. Now looking between the hands like a snake putting out its tongue, bringing that left foot on through. Landing it lightly as you spin the back heel down. Arms up and over the head for our warrior one, nice. And then back to low lunge as you spin that back heel up. And then back to down dog as you will. And you also could find a child's pose, all fours position. Lots of different options as you balance your effort with your ease. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length when you're exhaling, folding. On the inhale, we'll come back to that chair, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up, open heart, open throat. On the exhale, neutral spine. Let's do one more Surya Namaskar B. We'll add a hip opener into the sequence. We'll start with our chair. Inhaling. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length. And then breathing out back to down dog as you will. From down dog flow style, big toes touch, heels slap apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog. High on the left toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted legs straight as you stack the hips. So right hip on top of left. So it looks like this.
Oh, okay.
That's it. Now bending that top leg, opening up that hip. And then looking between the hands, bringing that right foot on through, spinning the back heel down as we find our warrior one, arms up and over the head. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And from low lunge, back to down dog as you will. From down dog, second side. Big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Without overly disturbing the shoulders, lifted leg straight as you stack left hip on top of right. Now bending that leg, opening up that hip. And then sweeping that left foot on through. Landing it lightly, spinning the back heel down, arms up and over the head, inhaling. And then on the exhale, back to low lunge. And then back to down dog as you go. And coming back to an even breath and watching that breath as it flows in and as it flows out. From down dog, long smooth breath in. Long smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step or take a jump. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, fold. On the inhale, finding your chair pose. Exhaling, taking it lower, more strength in our legs. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart. A light press of the palms as your weight collects in your feet. Or adding an isometric engagement as we press those palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged. I'll invite you to tuck your tail as you connect with the strength of your center. And then hands by our side. Let's bring hands on hips as we step or jump our feet, hip width apart. And we'll support the back of our hips with our hands, the fingers face down. And we'll just circle those hips for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take those hip circles the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're going to pretend we have an extra set of hands. Extra set of hands keep our hips relatively stable. Real hands find our shoulders. And we'll circle our shoulders for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take those shoulder circles the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now back to center, arms in the air like you either do or don't care. We'll take the hips one way, shoulders go the other for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We'll take it the other way for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and back to center. Working through a standing sequence. Let's start with our chair pose. Knees over toes, hands overhead. Inhaling. Exhaling, taking it lower. On the inhale, rising on up. On the exhale, a big swan dive over. Take a breath to find length, and then breathing out, back to down dog, as you will. So let's work another three-legged dog variation. Let me demo the first side. So big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Right leg high to the sky for the three-legged dog, high on the left toes. Now finding a dragon dog as we bring shoulders over wrist, knee towards nose, nose towards knee. And then inhale it up. A couple more times. We exhale it forward. Inhale it up. This last one, let's hold. Exhale forward. Inhale and hold. And on that next exhale, trying to get that foot as far front as you can as we bring hands to hips for Warrior One Prep. In Warrior One Prep, I'll invite you to go longer in the stance as we shift weight onto the front foot to scoot that back foot back. We can bring hands under our shoulders to square our shoulders front and to relax those shoulders. Now finding a clasp of the fingers behind the head as we press the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then I'll invite you to stretch those hands high to the sky and with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Let's do 6 of these. Breathing in and breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one coming up. Breathing in. Breathing out. I'll invite you to hold this letter W shape. Elbows move back. The hands come with. And I'll invite you to wiggle those fingers. And then turning Warrior One into Warrior Two as hands find the heart. We open up the hips to face side wall. We might kick the back foot in just a little bit. And then finding one long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, let's paint 6 rainbows. Straightening the front leg, palm faces back, inhaling. And exhaling, Warrior Two. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out, halfway done. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, finding your Warrior Two. Now finding a rainbow warrior as we find a clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down, open heart, open throat, and then leading with the heart as we take a forward fold inside the front leg. As you draw the shoulders up and back towards the hips, I'll invite you to relax the neck and heavy the head. Yeah, try to let that neck go. As we hold the shape, either holding the shape in relative stillness or adding a little swing, a little sway, whatever feels right and good for you this afternoon. Those of you that found the forward fold, I'll invite you to tuck the chin strongly, stretching out the back of the neck. Keeping the chin tucked as you bring it back up, finding your Warrior Two shape. And then transitioning to Trikonasana, thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. We deepen that crease, we lengthen those ribs. And then grounding bottom hand down in an appropriate place. We can use that top hand to set that top shoulder. We can stretch hand high to the sky, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up past those top fingers with that steady yet relaxed gaze. Awesome. As we hold the triangle with every breath in, gathering energy in your center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. Every time you breathe out, send energy out through both arms, both legs, both ends of the spine, as you make yourself bigger in space. Awesome. So let's add breath and movement. I'm going to suggest you ground that bottom hand down for this one. As we exhale this hand front, turning our heart to the floor. On the inhale, lifting hand high as we spin heart to sky. And let's do 6 of these. Exhaling. And inhaling. Exhaling. And inhaling. Halfway done. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Last one. Exhaling and holding. Now the bottom hand joins. We take that little quarter twist out of the torso. We breathe 2 hands up. And exhale it over. 2 hands up. Exhale it over. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. Halfway done. Up. And over. Last 2. Inhale. Exhaling. Last 1. Inhale. Exhale and hold. And I'll invite you to stretch and wiggle those fingers, keeping our bodies and fingers supple. And then moving towards half moon if you choose. Hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. Right hand, I'll suggest well off to the right if you're new to the shape. We lift back leg. We can set the shoulder. We can stretch hand high, either looking down to the ground, off to the side, or up to the sky. There's lots of places. Other places to work nice. Hand can always stay on the hip. And again, as we hold the shape, with every in-breath, gathering energy in your center of balance, 3 fingers below the navel. With every out-breath, sending the energy out through all 4 limbs at both ends of the spine. Awesome. Coming down with grace and control, hand finds the hip, 2 feet find the floor. You can always add that second hand. As we come back to our warrior 2. And then I'll suggest a big windmill of the arms as we find low lunge, and then back to down dog, as you will. Take your time, find your flow. You ready for second side?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Second side, big toes touch, heels slightly apart. Left leg high to the sky, high on the right toes. Now finding your dragon dog as you bring knee to nose, nose to knee. And inhale it up. Exhale it forward. Inhale it up. Exhale it forward and hold that extra breath. And then stepping that foot as far front as you can as you spin the back heel down. Hands find the hips for our warrior 1 prep. Going longer in the stance if appropriate for your practice this afternoon. Hands can find the shoulders as we square the torso and relax those shoulders. Finding a clasp of the fingers behind the back, you might walk the fingers 1 over. Pressing the head into the hands, open heart, open throat. And then stretching those hands high. And then with the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. 3 more to go. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out in, holding for a couple of breaths. We can bring the elbows back, the hands come with. You might wiggle those fingers, feel the stretch across the front of the heart. And breathing into that stretch. Now turning warrior 1 into warrior 2 as hands find the heart. We open up the hips. We might kick the back foot in just a tad for heel to arch alignment. And then finding 1 long arm, looking out over those front fingers with a steady yet relaxed gaze. From here, let's paint 6 rainbows. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. That breeze feels awesome. Breathing in, breathing out. Last 3, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last 1 here. Inhale. Exhale, warrior 2. And then finding a rainbow warrior. A clasp of the fingers behind the back, shoulder blades back and down onto the rib shelf. And then keeping that shoulder to rib shelf connection, leading with the heart, think cat dog stretch. And now rounding the spine as we relax the neck and heavy the head, drawing the hands up and over the head as we breathe into the back of our heart. As we hold the stretch, just letting your neck relax, your head super, super heavy. Any tension in the neck and shoulders are straining down through the crown of the head, into the earth. One more long, slow, rich, deep, and smooth breath here. Now, if you found the forward fold, I'll suggest a big tuck of the chin. Try to find that sternal notch with the chin. Just give you a nice stretch in the back of the neck. Keeping that as you bring it back up, coming back to your warrior 2 shape. From warrior 2 shape, transitioning to Trikonasana. Thumb and forefinger find crease of hip and base of rib. The I'm a little teacup transition. We deepen that crease. We lengthen those ribs. Keeping a little spring in the knee as we ground bottom hand down. We can use that top hand to set that top shoulder. We can stretch that hand high to the sky, either looking down, off to the side, or up to the sky. Awesome. And again, with every in-breath, gathering your energy in. With every out-breath, sending that energy out as you ground down through the feet and get a little bit taller, a little bit bigger in the shape. Now exploring that lateral top line. I'll invite you to exhale that hand front as we turn our heart to the ground. Inhaling, lifting hand high as we spin heart to sky. And let's do this 6 times. Exhaling. And inhale. Exhaling. And inhaling, halfway done. Exhale. And inhale. Last 2. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. Now let's hold. The bottom hand joins. Pure side motion. We breathe 2 hands up. And exhale it over. 2 hands up. Exhale it over. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. I see those lovely tomatoes. Breathing it up. Exhale it over. Last 2. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 1. Breathing in. Breathing out and holding. I'll invite you to reach, reach, reach as we wiggle those fingers. And then moving towards your half moon as hand finds the hip. We step the back foot in. You might add a second hand to set your base. Finding the float. Second hand can find the hip. We can set that top shoulder. We can stretch hand high to the sky. Either looking down, off to the side, or up past those top fingers with that mixture of effort and ease. And one more long, smooth breath here. Now coming down with grace and control. You can always find the ground as you land that back foot. We're going to find that warrior 2 first. And then from warrior 2, we're going to find that big windmill of the arms as we stretch out our shoulders for a low lunge. And then back to down dog as you will. Just found a nail. I'm picking up this nail. And coming back to an even breath. Wherever you are, always feeling free to stay there. From down dog, long, smooth breath in. Long, smooth breath out. Tail into that breath, looking between your hands as you step in. Or maybe take a jump front. Take a breath to find length. Exhaling, folding. On the inhale, one more time this afternoon, we'll find our chair pose, knees over toes, hands overhead. Exhaling, taking it lower. Inhaling, rising on up. On the exhale, neutral spine. I'll invite you to bring hands to heart, either keeping that light press of the palms as your weight gathers in your feet, or adding that isometric engagement. We press the palms together, elbows wide, shoulders engaged, adding that tuck of the tail as we connect with the strength in our center. And then hands by our side. So let's work some breathing exercises here as we step or jump our feet hip width apart. I'll invite you to make 2 fists with the hands. We can inhale as we draw a line through the navel, through the heart, opening up the palms as we exhale and press the palms up to the sky. And let's do 6 of these. So inhale, exhale, breathing in, breathing out. Halfway done. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. Last one here. Breathing in, breathing out, and then hands by our side. Let's bring hands back onto our shoulders. Let's lean forward just a little bit, and we'll roll one shoulder front and then the other, making loose and pliable all the muscles that surround our lungs. And after 5 or 6, we'll take those asymmetrical shoulder rolls the other way. And then back to center, and down. From here, let's push one hand up, one hand down. We'll add a little twist to each side. So on the inhale, we push one hand up, one hand down as we twist to the left. Inhaling through center, right hand up, left hand down as we twist to the right with the breath. Exhaling through center. And a couple more each way. one more each side. And then hands by our side. Stationary, shooting the hawk to both sides. We can bring hands to our heart. We're going to turn to the left. We're going to push out with the left hand. We're going to pull back with the right as if we're firing a bow and arrow. We bring hands back to center, exhaling, and then inhaling other way. And let's do 6 of these. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling and inhaling. Exhaling. Sorry, inhaling. Exhaling through center, inhaling. Couple more each way. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more each side. And then back to center. And hands by our side. One more breath exercise before we come back down into a seated position. Let's soften the knees nice and wide here. And we're going to roll our spines down. So we can start by letting the chin tuck. Shoulders are soft, knees are soft, and we start to roll ourselves down. I always think of a yo-yo kind of at the end of its rope, and it's not wound up, just hanging on down. From here on the inhale, let's make 2 fists with the hands as we breathe into back heart. On the exhale, opening the palms out. Let's do 6 of these. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. A couple more to go. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last one. Breathing in. And breathing out. And now let's bring hands onto our thighs, and we'll roll ourselves up as we push our hands into our thighs, giving our low back a little assistance as we masterfully stack our vertebrae. And then from here, let's jump it in thin like a pin as we bring hands to our heart, either keeping that light press of the palms or adding that isometric engagement, connecting with our center. And then hands to our side. From here, let's jump it out nice and wide. Let's angle the feet out as hands find the hips. And let's rock it into half squat as we take it on down. We can bring knees over heels, elbows find the inner thighs as hands find the heart. And I'll invite you to keep rocking that squat from side to side, stretching it out. From this place, let's come down to that place where we started class. So we're seated with our legs long, a little external rotation, the heels are separate. From here, let's move towards Kurmasana. So we're going to feed our arms underneath our legs, hinging at the hips, trying to get as much fold as you can with neutral spine. And then depending on where your back is, either keeping neutral spine or going a little bit further as you round the back for Kurmasana, the tortoise pose. And there's a beautiful ceramic torso off to my right here. As we hold the stretch, breathing into back body. There's a mantra that goes with this shape. I found it very useful in these times of not getting out and around as much as I once did. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then holding for another 3 or 4 breaths. With every exhale breath, just letting yourself melt a little bit more into the grounder floor. From this folded forward position, unfeeding the arms as we come back up to reclaim our tall spine. One of my favorite poses. We can slide the feet in. We can catch our ankles as we start to balance on our tailbone. Now, either staying right here, this could be very challenging depending on where your hips are this afternoon. Maybe peace sign fingers catch the big toes. Maybe we work with bent knees as we balance. Or maybe we stretch those legs up to the sky. As we hold this balance, letting your inner thighs melt as we spread those legs a little bit wider. From here, let's find a butterfly in the air. Landing the butterfly, so it's almost like we're just in, but it's a little tighter with the legs and the soles connect. Either hands on ankles or using your thumbs on the insoles of the feet to open up your feet like a book. And then finding that forward fold, leading with the heart, either staying in neutral spine or letting the spine round And again, that mantra, so useful in these times, I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. I go deep within to find all that I need. And then holding for another 3 or 4 breaths, just breathing into back heart, letting yourself melt with every exhalation. Now a tuck of the chin, as we bring it on up, we can use our hands to close our knees, keeping our inner thighs soft. We can go long through our legs, make sure you get lots of room for a full body stretch when we get down there. So we can start with a tall spine, finding C-spine, laying ourselves down as we lay each vertebrae down as if we're laying pearls onto a cushion. Arms overhead for a full body stretch, and I'll invite you to point fingers and toes, breathing in. Flexing hands and feet. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. One more here. Breathing in as we point. Exhale as we flex. And then I'll invite you to sweep your hands by your side as you find your Shavasana. Laying the head down as you scoot the shoulders back. Doing whatever else feels right and good for you this afternoon. As we hold our Shavasana, feeling the front plane of your body falling into back plane. And both planes of the body, heavying into the floor, into the ground. And those of you at home, certainly feeling free to hold your Shavasana as long as 20, 25 minutes. You don't want to fall asleep, but you do want to get to a place of deep, deep relaxation. For the purposes of this class, this 45-minute pop-up, I'll cue it out. And feel free just to listen to that and lay in your backs. And hold your Shavasana. For the purposes of this class, I'm going to ring these yoga bells 3 times. I'll invite you to listen to the striking of the bell, the duration of the sound, the diminution of the sound, and in the silence afterwards. At home, feeling free to stay in your Shavasana. You're in this place and into your body. Now inviting that prana in towards center as we gently circle the wrists and the ankles. Adding a little shimmy of the shoulders, a little shake of the hips, whatever feels right and good for you. And now finding Apanasana. Andrew's already there. As we draw our knees on in, and just using your thighs to massage your belly. As you rock your body front to back, maybe you take it side to side, whatever feels right and good for you. And then I'll invite you to roll onto your right side as you stretch long through the right arm. If you don't quite have enough space, feel free to use a cactus arm. And just letting your head rest on that arm. I'll invite you to take one more breath, letting it spill out through your mouth. Softening your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, softening the corners of your eyes. And then tucking the chin as you push into your hands to come up and claim a cross-legged sit. As we sit, I'll invite you to bring your hands onto your knees. Pulling back with your hands to sit up a little straighter, a little taller. A slight tuck of the chin as 5 fingers of one hand find the ground or floor. The palm of the other hand faces the sky. Ending our practice as we start, watching as our breath flows in. And as our breath flows out. From this place of breath awareness, I invite you to bring your hands to your heart and bow as you thank yourselves for practicing yoga and as we offer our practice out to each other and to the world. Namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Andrea, for the use of your space. And we'll see you next time. I don't want to step on any flowers here. Thank you all for practicing with us.